The Monty and the Pharaoh Show is brought to you by...
Because wine is your second favorite four-letter word. California wine, New York attitude. Good fucking wine.
Yeah.
Damon, were you thrown off when they came to you and said you're going to call yourself Damon Kemp? I mean, you're Stevenson. Was that like I'm who? I mean, honestly, Damon, that would have irritated me. I would have been like, "What are you talking about? I'm a Stevenson." Did you just scratch your head and be like, "Okay"? At least they didn't call you the Red Rooster. Got to look at it that way.
So I don't think a lot of people know, like on the outside, that we get to pitch a bunch of names to the creative team.
Okay.
So that's how we do it. So it's just like they're like, "Hey," and it's also like it's also one of those things where if you're like regressing, then they'll be like, "Hey, let's start picking out a name for you. You might be on TV soon, so let's start getting something going. Send us a list." So what I would do was I was literally looking up like badass names of like everyone.
Oh, you picked
Google.
one. You did a good job with that. Good job.
Yeah. So what I was doing was I was like typing in Google. I was like badass names of like the first name. I was like badass names of last names, and I'll just like grab them and like put them together, like making the spider web and throw them out. So I sent them to the creative team. They're like, I think the other option was Diego or Damon, and I was like, Damon.
Yeah. You Googled badass names. That's hilarious. Charles Manson. Oh, that one's taken. Never mind.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because the other guy that was named Damon Kemp, like around the time that I had it, he had like things going.
Whoops.
Well, that's what we were gonna say. You picked a guy that murdered two people in Georgia. Does Triple H go? I don't know if that's a good idea.
He might have been guarding that inmate when he was on the phone with Triple H, for all we know.
Dude. So when I picked that name and I was getting tagged and stuff on Twitter after I did like my first 205 Live, they were like, Damon Kemp's a murderer, and I was seeing all these tweets and stuff like that. And I pulled it up, and there was a dude named Damon Kemp who murdered someone, and I was like, oh crap, this ain't good. It was like I would Google, I like just put my name in Google, and then literally it was all of the murder stuff. I was like, all right, this isn't good. I was like, this isn't good for business. And I went to one of the writers at the time. I was like, yo, there's another guy out there that killed two people that's named the same as me. He literally did it like last year, right? And then he was like, oh yeah, and I was like, yeah. So we changed my name or something. Like I'm still pretty new to being on TV. Is somewhere we can just change it quick? He's like, no, it's all right. It's like it wasn't that big of a deal. Whatever. I was like, what do you mean it was a big of a deal? The dude killed two people. You Google Damon Kemp, and all you see is that. Like,
hell, man! It'll make a good doll. It'll be a great doll.
I was like, all right, I guess we're rolling with it. But, geez.